Daily word is faith. My faith keeps me focused on God. I am not be able to control what happens around me, but I am always free to choose what happens within me. My perception determines my experience. I begin with faith. I choose to see the vibrant wholeness that is present even during illness. I open my heart and mind to the harmony that I know is possible even in the midst of apparent discord. When my needs appear greater than my resources, I remind myself all supply springs forth from the exhaustible well of divine substance. I am reassured by remembering all situations are temporary, and God is greater than every circumstance. Through my faith, I align my thoughts with the divine and believe in this truth that sets me free. From Luke 17:6, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you.
They're playing Fill it with love and make it bright, and we will touch you. Yes, we can touch you with the love that Jesus taught. Yes, we will touch you. Yes, God can touch you from God's love within our hearts. We'll project a golden light, fill it with love and make it bright.
Well, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that are mine to do. One more time. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that are mine to do. At the age of 93, this was the mantra of our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. And I wonder how many of you, for those who I'm looking at, how many of you before you even got out of bed affirmed something like this? Maybe not these exact words, but felt that sense of enthusiasm and that readiness to step into this day. Today, we're concluding our 12 Powers series, and it is our opportunity to really embody the power of zeal, as Charles Fillmore called it. Today, we might term it something like enthusiasm. And we've been using the book Adventures in Resilience because that's, I think, the energy that we have to be in right now as we begin to step back into life in ways that we're being called. We have to draw upon that resilience. And we're also going to look at the power of life and how that energy of life is what animates, is what energizes not only our own beings, but all of life, all things that are growing and being in this world right now. I had invited you at the beginning of this series to see if you wanted to select some area, some specific goal or idea that you wanted to work with and focus your 12 spiritual powers to support the experience of that and the success of meeting whatever it was. And I had set my goal as losing 20 pounds, not necessarily within the service, but as my ongoing idea that I wanted to bring into being. This past week, I have put the power of order and release into service for reaching this milestone. And I really concentrated on affirming that divine order, the wisdom of the universe, would continue to guide me in ways that I'm being called to welcome new ideas, new ways, new habits of being in my daily life, and to be willing to release those things that no longer serve me in that process. This coming week, I am going to really be tapping into this power of enthusiasm, because I know that one of the things that, at least in my experience, has happened is we get very gung-ho about doing something at the beginning of it, and then as the weeks roll on, sometimes our enthusiasm for continuing that process can wane a little bit. So I am going to be focused on keeping my enthusiasm and stay the course until I lose this last 12 pounds. I've made 8 so far, so I've got 12 more to go. It's been a process. So, activating the light of zeal does exactly what we were just talking about. It calls forth that power of enthusiasm, and it fortifies us with resilience, the very thing that we're wanting to tap into. Zeal and enthusiasm expresses through us. It shows up as an eagerness for life, an interest, and an optimism about whatever our plans are. It's been difficult, I think, to really be able to harness that when we've been sort of in this tamped down mode, but now we're really being called to bring that into its full expression in our lives. Charles Fillmore described zeal as the great universal force that impels humankind to spring forward into a field of endeavor and accomplishment that can seemingly be miraculous. It develops our ability to be audacious, to be bold, to be confident, to be daring. Zeal fuels the power of our intensity to do that. It can express almost like a fire in our belly. Have you ever had that when you were just felt like you were on fire to make or to experience something in your life? The author, Reverend Sharon Connors, of the Adventures in Resilience book, she put it this way. She said, spiritual zeal expresses enthusiasm and joy, and it also brings to bear courage, creative thinking, and a commitment to whatever that worthy cause that we've identified. It moves us up and out of stuck conditions, of stuck mindsets and self-defeating perceptions. You know, it seems like over this past year plus, many have lost their zeal for life. As I talk to people, both inside our community and outside, I hear that people are really struggling with finding that zest, with finding that enthusiasm to re-engage in activities. I know for the extroverts out there, you've maybe not even totally stepped away from those, and you've been on the leading edge of making it happen. It's like, yeah, we're getting together. And, you know, as I've talked to people, it's not so much out of fear anymore. Rather, it's having trouble just getting out of the ruts of inactivity. Sort of a place they've been in, and it just feels like it's daunting to, it's like, oh, that means I've got to get up. It means I've got to get dressed and get in the car and go somewhere to show up for church on Sunday. And I'm delighted to see so many newer faces, not new to us, but new here to experience church in person. Our zeal, that's a new word, Zenter. Our zeal center is located at the nape of our neck. And when energized, it vibrates the color orange. Those who have a lot of pain in their neck, it could signal that their zeal, their enthusiasm is out of balance. Oftentimes, I've noticed that when I'm operating out of a state of willfulness, or I'm finding myself needing to want to try and control things, I could find myself impatient and upset or aggravated by people or circumstances in my world, and it often shows up as a pain in my neck. The word doesn't come in our vernacular without some actual experience behind it. Zeal operates best when we can enthusiastically allow the flow of divine order and ideas and faith and wisdom to direct our daily activities. When we're willing to say yes when those things show up, then we can begin to tap into this power of zeal. Zeal is represented with understanding by Simon the Zealot as our apostle. And while Simon is only listed, and we don't know a whole lot about what this apostle's role was in early Christianity, we can assume, because when you have a descriptor, as we have Jesus the Christ, or maybe early on it was Jesus of Nazarene, it depicts either where they're from or some characteristic, their primary characteristic that people know them by. So we can assume that Simon was either a part of the Jewish group of zealots and it identified him as being a part of that group, or that he was the most enthusiastic of all of the apostles in this work that he was doing with Jesus. I saw a really cool acronym that might help you remember this. It's by Reverends Bill and Cher Holton. And they remind us that sizzle is our innate quality within us. We just sometimes have to turn up the heat. So heat stands for this. The H is honor your own uniqueness rather than trying to be someone else. Especially important in this time. You have to honor where you are and what's comfortable for you and where you are being called to engage. The E is to remind us to eliminate those old beliefs, habits, and assumptions that sometimes can block our good. The A is for adopt a bias for action. This is about getting moving, being able to step into things, to choose growth over stagnation. And finally, the T is to temper our zeal with wisdom. Zeal, unleashed, unrestrained, oftentimes does not bring us the results that we want. It has to be guided and directed by those other spiritual powers within us. Just as Simon represents zeal, Judas is the apostle that represents life. Judas, I think, at least in my understanding and what I've been able to read, I believe he really was certain that Jesus had come to free the people from Roman domination. He expected Jesus to be a warrior king, to step in and to wipe out those who had so horribly treated their country and their people. I believe this is in part, and this is my opinion, and you don't have to have this same opinion, that is why Judas turned him in. I think he was trying to push Jesus into the action that he believed he had come to be, into that showdown where he was going to step in and claim his rightful place. And while action did unfold, it was not the kind that he had imagined. And I think Judas represents for us using that life force out of fear rather than out of love. Our life force needs to be guided with that same energy as zeal needs to be guided, with our wisdom, which is always seeking loving and honorable ways in which to bring about the good and the change that we want to see in our lives. The power of life also represents our eternal nature. Wholeness is not just a condition that we move in and out of. It is a spiritual reality, even though we might not always have that physical experience of wholeness. It is a truth principle that is unchanging and that is the heart of the power of life. The author writes this. She says that life as a principle and a spiritual ability is not to be confused with human life. So this is something beyond human life. It is a part of our human life, but it exists outside of our human life too. A human life, specifically thinking about it as a human body, because we often identify that this is the essence of me, has a beginning and an end in our time-space reality. A human body is said to live between a birth and a death. But life, what we're talking about today, the principle and the spiritual ability of life has no such finite existence. Life is eternal, which means it has always been, it is now, and will always be. Life, we can think of it as that evolutionary force that continually renews and continually expands and changes and shifts in order to be able to animate all that we see and know. It is alive in our capacity to understand, to catch those divine ideas, and to create something new over and over and over again. So as you focus on your life and that power of life, think of it as the presence that is alive within you. It is emanating from that universal source. And when you can really be aligned with this life force, then the creative possibilities are unlimited, because that is its very nature, is the realm of unlimited creative potential. You know, sometimes we have the power, whether it's through our power of zeal or through our power of strength or through our power of faith, to get something going. And yet, if we're not tapped into this power of life, it can be difficult to get anything completed, because that is the part, that's the component that supports us throughout all of the creative process. And if our power of life is not directed and supported by all of our spiritual powers as we bring them all into bear, then sometimes it feels like our energy gets scattered. We may have great creative ideas and get them started, and I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience. You've got like 6 projects going, and you're working on them all, but none ever quite seem to make that completion and finality of it. We might appear busy, but it doesn't mean we're getting anything done. So it takes this power of life supported by all of the other powers in our being to really bring about what we call, and what Jesus reminded us, as the kingdom of heaven, right here and right now. In John 10:10, Jesus is directing people to use this power of life to take care of what's important, to remember what's important. And he says this, he says, "The thief only comes to steal and kill and destroy. I came that you may have life and have it abundantly." So I want you to think this week, what are the thieves that are coming to steal your power? Do you spend your mornings watching the news channels for an hour or two, or your evenings? Or are you taking that time, or at least a piece of that time, to commune with Spirit? To take a look at, where am I giving my energy to? And is that something that's life-affirming, or is it something that brings more and more destruction into my life? Because we are here to have life abundantly. Daily meditation, prayer, sitting in the silence, being out in nature and just being one with that, whatever works for you, is essential for fully tapping in to all of these powers, and especially the power of life. I was on a Charles Fillmore roll this week, so you're going to get one more from Papa Charlie. He says this, he says, "The river of life flows within us, and we can be truly quickened to new life and vitalized in mind and in body by consciously taking time to connect with Spirit through prayer, meditation, and good works. This is how we activate this power of life." And so let's take a few minutes right now as we move for a time and allow ourselves to just go within and make our own contact with the Spirit of life within. As you get comfortable wherever you're sitting, perhaps you might want to close your outer eyes so that you can be fully present to the life and energy that is within you now. Become aware of the breath as it flows in and out of your body. the very breath of life that is animating every part of your being. And with each breath, you feel your mind relax, your heart expand, open to whatever this experience has to gift you in this moment. And see if you can't focus your attention on the back of your neck, right where the lower brain stem connects your brain and your spinal cord. Here lies the center of your spiritual power of zeal. Visualize a vibrant orange glow infusing that area. As you focus on it, that energy, that orange, vibrant energy expands and flows through every part of your being. It sends a message right now to relax your brain, to know that in this moment, it can simply just be. And allow these words to silently become your own. I am the magnificent power of zeal. I am enthusiastic, resilient, and devoted to my onward and expanded growth. I eagerly awaken each morning with a sense of being on purpose, excited about the choices ahead of me. I am centered in the evolutionary divine power of zeal, an inexhaustible supply of passion and readiness. And taking another deep breath, focus your attention now on the red light of life centered throughout your pelvic region. This vibrant energy of red, the same as the blood that flows through our brain, through our veins, is blessing all of your vital organs with new vitality. And again, affirm these words. I now shine the red light of life throughout my entire body. My body does not give life to me. The source and the spirit gives life to my body. I am divine life. My eternal life is in perpetual motion. My capacity to understand continually expands. I am forever flowing in forward, onward, and upward ways. And as you breathe once again, seeing these vibrant colors alive and flowing through your entire being, out into this room and out into life. Take this energy of enthusiasm, of joy, of vibrancy, and begin this day right now, affirming that you sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm for life that supports you in doing all that's yours to do. And as you feel ready, allow your eyes to open and be present once again to this sacred space and time as we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay, I've got different people here. We're going to give it just another little experiment here to see if there's any questions, any comments, anything that people would like clarity around. And while you're doing that, I'm going to just check my phone. So anybody have something that they'd like to ask or share? And you can just do it right from where you are, and I'll repeat it. All right, Stephen. Mm-hmm. And so what Stephen was asking about, especially for those who probably couldn't hear him out in the interweb, was asking about how do we bridge the wisdom of our experience versus that sort of gut feel, if I'm understanding you right, so that and bring it all to bear so that whatever we do is done in a more direct and efficient manner. I see them as two different things, and again, this is just my opinion. I think there's an understanding. So we get understanding as we learn and as we experiment and try something, and we go, oh, that didn't work so well, let me try this. And then we begin to understand how things work together in a way that really supports us and allows us to go and do the things that we are. Wisdom, at least for me, often comes in ideas that I hadn't yet experienced or guidance that I haven't stepped out to. So that's kind of how I distinguish between the two. I think there's an understanding, and yes, it's wisdom that comes from our experiences, but then we also get wisdom that is really there to support us in stepping out and growing in new ways that takes a certain amount of strength and courage. And the more we understand, I think the greater it is to tap into our wisdom. And I don't know if that really answers your question. I think both are valid. Both, we certainly want to learn and grow from what our experience has taught us, because sometimes we will know things in a deeper way that we could have ever known had we not had that experience. And yet I think wisdom is also that guidance that supports us and moves us to move in newer directions that we perhaps hadn't ventured before. That's my best answer to that right now. All right, anybody else? Does that, okay, yes. Well, thank you for that. So she was just sharing that sometimes that wisdom, yes, it might come up in our gut, and sometimes we don't know. We haven't had the awareness or the understanding of what it is or how it is that we can release things that we might be enthusiastically wanting to let go of and yet don't know. And she shared that through the message and through the group that has her caring circle that's been supporting her. She was able to tap into and to hear that wisdom that she needed, and had a really miraculous experience in beginning to release that which she had been working on. So sometimes wisdom comes through others too, and that's where we might hear it and experience it in a new way. All right. Well, thank you for reaching out and sharing, and maybe that helped somebody else out there too. And I just want to encourage you, as you put these powers of zeal and life into service for your highest good, to make a commitment today to take a few minutes every morning, and this is before you get out of bed, even before you get out of bed. Now, I will, for older people, if you need to get up and use the restroom real quick, that's okay. Just come back to bed then, because I don't want anyone to be uncomfortable in doing this. But to use either this affirmation that Charles used, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do all that's mine to do. And that may not roll off the tongue for you, and I understand that. Or to come up with something like that, that you can just affirm, however many times it takes, to feel that energy of life moving through you and to feel that sense of excitement for what this day is going to hold. And then get up and find the things that are yours to do and go and do them. Bless you as you walk this journey.
I'm a baby again. God is always whispering to me. He's murmuring in the rustling of the trees. He is beckoning from the brook that wends its way into my dreams. He fills my ears with laughter from the bubbling of each stream. God is always whispering to me, awakening my joy for all that He has given to my life and soul, the peace that He imparts. His loving whispers haunt my day and fill my grateful heart. God is always whispering in my soul. My still small voice re-echoes and I'm whole. Each petal of each flower lifts its beauty to His glow. Of morning sun and dawning light, His glory as their goal. God is always whispering in my soul. The birds sing that their story may unfold. Their songs are filled with all His love, the freedom of their wings. Each feather is a flow of light. His love is why they sing. God is always whispering to me. His words make all my sadness disappear. His sweet love wipes away my tears, disperses all my fear. I live in joy and wonder, for I know He's always near. God is always whispering to me. He heals me with His air each time I breathe. He's everything to me, because He's every part of me. For I am His and He is mine. He whispers that to me. Yes, God is always whispering to me.
Thank you, Audrey. I just wanted to share with you, you got a shout out from Penny that she was glad that you were singing with us today, and a couple people sending their love to us from afar, so we're grateful for them. It is with that energy of gratitude that we celebrate all of the abundance flowing through Center of Unity. We're grateful for those who faithfully share of their financial good in support of our ongoing mission. We're grateful for those who give of their time and their talents to support this ministry, and feel that sense of gratitude for the awareness that we live in an abundant universe that is always seeking to support us, and there is always that sense of enough to do what is ours to do. As we prepare to share of our tithes and offerings with Center of Unity, see if you can't bring that energy of gratitude to your heart for all the good that is flowing in and through your life and through this community. After we bless our gifts, the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row to place your gift in the larger basket on the table, and then receive an affirmation from the smaller basket close to that. This is something that you can work with. Maybe you'll get one about zeal today, if that's yours to receive, but they're about all of our 12 powers. And even if this isn't your Sunday to share, or you give electronically, we want you to come and be in that flow of giving and receiving. If you give electronically, you can just use one of the cards that are in the pockets in front of you, or just simply place your hand over the basket, adding your energy to it, and then receive an affirmation. And for those who are watching us through the live stream, we would gratefully receive your gifts through our give page at centerofunity.org. And then if you scroll down a little bit, there are electronic affirmations there for you. There's 6 to choose from. You just pick the image that speaks to you the most, and that will be an affirmation to support you for this week. And if for some reason you're unable to come and be in this flow, there is a basket, and you can receive an affirmation on your way out the door. So let us take what we offer today into our hands and into our hearts, or the energy of that, and bless it together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
New faces every week. What a blessing. If you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you've chosen to join us. If you're watching on the internet, please visit our website, centerofunity.org. Fill out the connection card there. If you're visiting us in person for the first time, there's a card in the little packet in front of you on the pew in front of you, and drop that in the basket as you leave at the front, as you leave it, or leave it at the visitor desk. We welcome all of you and are so glad you're here. Today's appreciation, we remember and appreciate Amber Holland, who does for our church so many things, her outstanding graphics, bulletins, newsletters, and everything in between. She came up and did the volunteer fair that we're having today with all the ideas, and has regularly overseen all of our birthday banquets and our special celebrations. So for all you do, Amber Holland, we're grateful. We love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste. And for the first of our announcements today, we're going to go to our correspondent in the parking lot.
Hey, I'm out here in the parking lot. This is an exciting day because it has been a long time since we've actually had people here to eat. It's been, about like a year or so, and so we were excited. We've got the grill going here. We got hot dogs on the grill. We got brats up here. If you come back early, I've only got 6 brats. Harry, I'm saving you one for sure. But we got a few brats. We've got the activity thing going on inside. We just want everybody to come back after service. We got a bunch of exciting things going on in here. We're ready for you to come back. So please come back after service, enjoy a hot dog and a brat, and check out what we've got going on back here today. Back up to you guys.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Have you been craving social interaction with your church buddies? Now's your opportunity. Come one, come all to the Outdoor Volunteer Fair. We'll have hot dogs and other culinary delights, prizes, music, dancing, and all manner of fun. Come prepared to sign up for a volunteer position and to have a great afternoon. Be sure to stop by the bookstore to take advantage of this month's 10% discount on the book, What If It All Goes Right? Creating a New World of Peace, Prosperity, and Possibility by Mindy Odlin. Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m., Michelle Accardo hosts the Compassionate Communication Group on Zoom. We'll practice nonviolent communication by receiving empathy and getting clear on feelings, needs, and making doable requests. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Every Sunday, we gather on Zoom before church to say hi and catch up. Come join us from 10 to 10:25 a.m. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Adult Sunday School meets after church on Zoom from 12 to 12:45 p.m. Be sure to join us as we discuss today's message. All are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Join Reverend Linda every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for the Metaphysical Bible Interpretation class, where we refocus our attention on the good that God is making available to us now. Each class is self-contained. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, use the COU or Venmo app, or you can text 817-606-8768 and follow the prompts. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
I just wanted to mention one thing. We had Audrey up here earlier. Now, I know COVID has had us completely housebound. I'm with a lot of bands that are just now getting out and just now performing for the first time. And I mean, a lot of us are a little rusty. But Audrey has done amazing progress to come up here in front of us. She actually wrote both of the songs that we listened to. She played the background music. That she is a complete package, and she is a powerhouse, and I just appreciate that. One more time, thank you, Audrey, for helping us so much.
And it's been a long time since we've had kids here, and we actually have kids here today. So why don't we go ahead and bring the kids on up, shall we? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This
light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Franz has stepped in as of today to help us in our youth program. Brigitte, she's here to support our kids, so we've got at least 2 classrooms going every Sunday now. And we are so grateful that you guys are here, and we just see more and more kids feeling comfortable with coming back to experience their church family together. So we're going to sing the peace song.
We are indeed.
And then kids, yeah, I see your moms. They're here. We're all good. Mom can come up and can greet them. Yes. All right.
Let's all stand together as we do our peace song, shall we?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so as we go into this day, into this week, knowing that we have within us the power of zeal and life, we go, knowing our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a beautiful week, everyone.